Yeah. Workouts, Coach Parr. What were we talking about? We were talking about muscle. Okay, well, depending on what order and drops these in, we may have talked about fat loss. So now I'm gonna talk about like what goes into muscle gaining. And that equation is simple, but it requires that you do, holy golly gee, certain things. So at the crux of it, muscles respond to two things. They respond to tension. Like your muscles got this little like spider web inside of it. And when you like kick out with 200 pounds, that spider web gets stretched. And the next week when you kick out with 205 pounds, that spider web recognizes there's more resistance. So if you do more resistance or more reps of that resistance or more sets of it or more frequency or shorter rest times or whatever, you're stimulating that spider web. Secondly, muscles respond to burn. And so like when you're doing a set of like leg extension and it starts burning in your muscles, that like metabolic stress, that burn, that also signals your muscles to grow. And so based off those two things, all you gotta do is stress them with a burn or stress them with tension. That's how like people can do completely different programs and they can all build muscle because muscle's relatively dumb to whatever the stimulus is. It could be a quad extension, a squat, a lunge, a sissy squat, and anything. But as long as it's hard, difficult, and progressively overloaded, meaning from week in and week out, you do either another rep, a little more weight, another set, whatever it is, that will tell your muscle to grow. Now the caveat is, you gotta start somewhere that's already kind of challenging. You don't get to get away with easy sets. If you see someone in the gym doing bicep curls for 10 reps and the 10th rep looked like the first rep in speed, tempo, and exertion, that did not stimulate muscle growth. Muscle growth has to be hard. It just does. Muscles are tissue, they're living tissue, and they respond to hard stuff. They don't respond to the stuff they're accustomed to. And so to gain muscle, outside of being like a novice, like a first year gym goer, has to be like a purposeful time in the year. It has to be like, I'm spending the next 8 to 12 weeks purposely growing muscle. I'm purposefully stressing myself harder than last week. I'm purposely nudging the needle to something that is unaccomplishable at this moment for me. And the thing is, that's exhausting. You just can't keep doing that. Like, I'll do a 12, 16 week like muscle building phase and I'm dead. When it's said and done, I have zero energy to keep like trying to push muscle growth. So if someone tells you like, I've been trying to grow muscle for the last 9, 12 months, they have not been growing muscle. They have been just like working out mediocrely. Now, working out in and of itself is healthy for you, even if you don't like push hard enough to grow muscle. Just movement, resistance keeps you strong. Might not make you stronger, keeps you where you're at, keeps your tissue and your joints healthy. But if you want to grow muscle and you're not a novice, meaning you're not a first, second year gym goer, it's kind of got to be purposeful. You kind of got to eat a little more than you need. Now that doesn't mean like stuff your face with a whole DiGiorno pizza like I would do in college when I was trying to gain muscle, and I mostly just gained fat. It's 200 to 300 calories. That's like a granola bar and a banana. That's not a lot. Like you take what you normally eat that keeps you at your stableness, and you add like an extra granola bar and banana and like protein shake or half another chicken breast or whatever, and you've like checked the box of like eating for muscle growth. But then at the same time, you need to work out for muscle growth. And working out for muscle growth sucks. It's actually hard. Everyone who likes working out likes the idea of like starting a muscle gain phase, and halfway through they're like, my gosh, when is this over? You know, that's just how you gain muscle. Anything outside of that is just working out, but it's not like changing your body. And that's fine. It might be just keeping your body, and maybe you just want to stay like where you are, and then all you got to do is that. But if you're like, I want the next months my delts to be like a little bigger, then you got to do a lot of hard stuff over the next 6 months. You can't just cash it in with what you've been doing. And if you get to a point that you're really advanced, like working out for 5 years in a row together, you can't grow muscle on your whole body at the same time. Your body doesn't have the resource for it. So that's when you start specializing to certain areas for certain times of the year. Okay. How'd you like that? Oh. Well, then check out them quads. Golly gee willikers. Oh.